To you, my Yah, do I lift up my soul. And trusting you, he always kept me whole. And left my enemies deep in their holes. Let none that wait on Yahweh be ashamed. Put shame on those who sin without a cause. Show me your ways, please teach me your laws. Oh Elohim of my salvation, I'm staying down impatient. As a child, all the while I'm waiting. Remember not the sins of my youth. Lead me in your truth, and he'll give your soul ease. The earth shall remain inherited by a seed. The secret of Yah's will who fears Elohim, or who believes everything. And to every word spoken, you can't take heed unless you hear somebody curse you. Know you did the same thing. That's why I'm begging Yah for mercy and His love and kindness, cause I know that I ain't worthy.
Captivity is taking hold upon me, put fright in me, and now we flee from fallen leaves. The grinding grief from all the blood, how people sing, and now we cry, where is the word from Elohim? And so we feel that we are His wives to be submissive, but we dismiss it. It is of this reason we have fallen victim to the lies that your root will prey and pursue, rebellious of His Son, forgotten that He is one, broken the holy ordinance, rejecting the reproof, then acknowledge what we do. Now we return back to the truth.
Yah's word is the truth. Yah's decrees is the proof. Local 12 just released the scoop. It's the summer of Sam. They calling it Pam. Made us worship the Son of Man. And somehow that the moon, they stole our style and gave it to Rothschild. Now we exalt the vow, but hit the turnstile. Yah's Nabi sets the crooked things straight. Praise Yah from the rising to the evening to the closing the gate. Exposing the fake. God give the truth a daybreak. Now the liars can't escape. And the haters can't relate to the light that truth makes. See the wicked's pride deflate. You adore Yah, magnify Yah, cause He's great.
Shalom, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, giving all praise and honor to the Holy One of Israel, to the Creator of the heaven, the earth, the sea, and all that is there and is, by saying hallelujah. Praise the mighty Yah. Yah is righteous. Yah is holy. And let Yahweh be magnified. Once again, the Creator has allowed us to come before you another night, another day, bringing to you his great, holy, and exalted words, even the words of Yah. My name is Mowreh IshYAH YIsraEL of the house of Israel, located right here in Cincinnati, Ohio, 1907 Vine Street, bringing to you nothing but the truth. And yes, it is true. All we're going to do is tell you the truth. For Yah ordained me to tell you the truth, so this is what I'm going to do. And who is this Yah? Yah is the creator of the heaven, the earth, the sea, and all that is therein. Yah is the Elohim of our fathers, the Elohim of Abraham, Yitzhak, and Yisrael, whom you may know as Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Yah is our king. He's our judge. He is our lawgiver. And he is our only savior. And not just of Israel. Yah is the savior of the world. And I praise the mighty Yah for giving us an opportunity to come before you each and every day and night. Tonight, we will be discussing judges and officers. At this time, many of our people are being tricked and bamboozled into voting. And they will go out and select the various judge that they would like to represent them. These judges and rulers that they will choose to represent them might be sitting on one of the benches in your courthouses that many of our people go before them and end up getting higher sentences, getting charged with federal crimes, getting more jail time, taking more plea deals, and they have more calamity in the court system than any other people. But yet these are the judges and officers that they themselves selected. Then we have people called mayors who's supposed to look out for you, who's over the police and over the fire department and over all the local governmental agencies that's supposed to locally look out for your best interests. But as you can see, our cities, whether it's Atlanta, Georgia, Cincinnati, Ohio, Jackson, Mississippi, whether it's Detroit, Michigan, Chicago, Illinois, Los Angeles, California, it don't matter. You can name all the various cities you want, and they all come up very short no matter who is in office. All one have to do is look in the cities, and you will see. Most people, if they had the money and the resource, they would get out of the city. Now, if the cities were so great, why do people want to leave the city? But yet, these are the people you're told to choose. Then we have governors that's over the whole state. You have council people, board members that's over your schools. Yes, that you select. How have these people that you have selected How have they aided you? How have they benefited you? How have they done anything for our people that we might be inspired, excited, motivated, and proud of? As a matter of fact, it's just the opposite. So every 2 years, every 4 years, every 6, 8 years, our people are typically greatly disappointed. As a matter of fact, it was only one time our people became happy and started crying. And that was during the time that a man named Barack Hussein Obama was elected. He served 8 years. And what did those 8 years do for you? Are we better off? Are we more proud other than the fact that a black man became president? How have these things benefited us? These are the real questions that you must ask yourself. And outside of all that, Yahweh had laws, statutes, commandments, and judgments that will govern how we were to approach and how we were to deal with our judges as well as our officers. And I want you to see the law so that you can see for yourself when you go out and cast your vote. Some people, some Israelites, they try to do it on a down low. And we know what the down low is. And then you have some Israelites, they're very bold in their ability to commit great sin. And yes, this is a great sin. And I'm going to show you why it's a great sin. Such a great sin, look what the Creator told us what will happen for doing the things that we're going to speak about tonight. And that is not just voting, but how we go about dealing with the various judges and officers in our own community. This is what the Creator said in the book of Jeremiah. In the book of Jeremiah, you'll find this in the book of Jeremiah, the 17th chapter. And watch what it says in the 5th verse. Thus says Yahweh, cursed be the man that trusted in man and maketh flesh his arm, meaning his power, and whose heart departed from Yahweh. And I'm going to prove beyond a shadow of a doubt that when you put your trust and another man to represent you, to represent your interests, to represent really your moral compass. Because these men that you choose, they're not only choosing or voting or selecting things based off of their civic upbringing, but they also are making clear-cut choices of their religious background. And I'm going to show you this. So not only you have men to represent you that might have a degree or might be a lawyer or an attorney or anything like that, but you have preachers and so-called reverends and all kind of representatives. Some of your representatives are even gay. But you don't care, because all that matters to you is that you vote. Regardless if you win or lose, just vote. I mean, why vote if you don't think you're going to win? And why have someone represent you, your interests, that contradict or supposed to contradict your religious, your moral obligation? Watch what this says. Thus says Yah, cursed be the man that trusts in man, making flesh his arm, and whose heart departed from Yahweh. For he shall be like the heath in a desert, and shall not see when good cometh, but shall inhabit the parched places in the wilderness, in a salt land, and not inhabit it. And this is what's going on with our people. They put their trust in people that they only feel and think have their interests. They might call them a Democrat, or they might call them an independent, or they might call them a Republican. But whatever you call them, they only have one person's interest and one person's interest, period. And that's their own. And you only think they fighting for your interests. No, they gonna vote. Just like you go in the booth to vote your conscience. What you think they gonna do? You think they thinking about you individually and saying, well, let me vote the way she said, and let me vote the way he said? No, they gonna vote the way they believe, they think. Why? Because you gave them that power. And in the end, they're going to say, yeah, I did represent you. I got the best deal I can get. I voted the best way I could. That's what they're going to tell you. You put them up there, and they're going to do what they going to do. And let me show you how you breaking the Creator's laws, because number one, you don't trust him. You put your trust in a man. And the Creator said, cursed be the man that put his trust in man and make flesh his arm, and whose heart departed from Yahweh. And your heart will have to depart, because now you have some wicked man or one man to be your spokesperson, to be your representative, to be your arm, your power. You gave them the power, and they will act as your power. And look what the Creator said about these type of people. The first thing in dealing with judges, this is the first thing that you need to know. And this is in the book of Deuteronomy or Exodus. Exodus, the 18th chapter. And I just want you to see for yourself if these are the type of judges and officers that you are electing. Are these the type of judges and officers that Yahweh have inspired you to choose? Let's see. Let's see if you with Yahweh or if you are against Yahweh. Because if you are against his word and you're not following his word, it's only because you are against him. And watch what it says in the book of Exodus, the 18th chapter, the 13th verse. And this is what it says. And it came to pass on the morrow that Moshe said to judge the people. And why? Because he was a judge. And the people stood by Moshe from the morning until evening. And I may add, who chose Moses? It wasn't the people. The people didn't choose Moses. Yahweh chose Moses. And watch what it says. And when Moses' father-in-law saw all that he did to the people, he said, what is this thing that thou doest to the people? Why sittest thou thyself alone? And all the people stand by thee from morning to evening. And Moshe said unto his father-in-law, because the people come unto me to inquire of Elohim. And when they have a matter, as all of us do, we all have issues, we all have matters, they come unto me. And I judge between one and another. And I do make them to know the statutes of Elohim and his laws. And I thought we supposed to be commandment keepers. I thought we supposed to keep the statutes and the laws of the Most High. Well, we do. And the people that our people have represented them, not only they don't keep the Creator's laws, but they don't even care about Yahweh laws. But let's keep reading. And Moshe father-in-law said unto him, the thing that thou doest is not good. Thou wilt surely wear away both thou and this people that is with thee. For this thing is too heavy for thee. Thou art not able to perform it thyself alone. Hearken out unto my voice. I will give thee counsel, and Elohim shall be with thee. Be thou for the people to Elohimward, that thou mayest bring the causes unto Elohim. And thou shalt teach them ordinances and laws, and show them the way wherein they must walk, and the work that they must do. In other words, the things that we supposed to be doing as Israel is getting our direction from the Most High. And Yahweh have representatives that will represent him. Watch what it says. Moreover, thou shalt provide out of all the people able men, such as fear Elohim, men of truth, hating covetousness, and place such over them to be rulers over thousands, rulers over hundreds, rulers of fifties, and rulers of tens. And let them judge the people at all seasons. And it shall be that every great matter they shall bring unto thee, but every small matter they shall judge. So shall it be easier for thyself, and they shall bear the burden with thee. If thou shalt do this thing, and Elohim command thee so, then thou shalt be able to endure, and all these people shall also go to their place in peace. So Moshe hearkened to the voice of his father-in-law, and did all that he had said. And Moshe chose. Who chose? The people didn't choose this. That's what Moses chose. For some ridiculous reason, our people think they the ones who choose. No, they don't choose. They don't vote. This is not the ways of the Most High. Yahweh didn't have no democracy. The only democracies you'll see is among these European nations. And this is a trick that these European nations have played the earth with. Watch what it says. And Moshe chose able men out of all Israel, and made them heads over the people, rulers of thousands, rulers of hundreds, rulers of fifties, and even rulers of tens. And they judged the people at all seasons. The hard causes they brought unto Moshe, but every small matter they judged themselves. And Moshe let his father-in-law depart and went his way into his own land. And people can't say, well, they was in their own land. They wasn't in no land at this time. They were in the wilderness. They were landless. But they still had to have law and order. They still had matters. And they still had to be judged. Just like today, you think we can just go around acting like fools all the time? No, we can't. We got laws and commandments and statutes and judgment that we have to live by. And how did we do it? And who judged us? Well, let me tell you who it was. Men that feared Elohim. Men of truth, hating covetousness. And you know what covetousness is. In other words, you don't covet what other people have. This is all the politicians that I know. I haven't met one politician that feared Elohim. Not one. Not one politician that feared Elohim. I definitely never met a politician that was a man of truth. And hating covetousness. These are not Yahweh's representatives that you call yourself or allowing yourself or allowing them to be your representatives. And this is a great sin, that we will put people over us that we know don't fear Elohim. We know are not men of truth. The scripture says, Strengthen not the hands of evildoers. And this is what our people do every 2 to 4 years. Furthermore, just show you the law on judges and officers. And let's see, we know they don't fear Elohim, men of truth and hate covenants, but let's see if they keep this law. Because if they don't keep this law, then how could you possibly keep this law? In other words, how can you be a person of truth, a person that fears Elohim, and then you will go and put somebody over you that don't fear Elohim? That's a total oxymoron, a contradiction. If you fear Elohim, the last thing you would do is put the wicked over you and have the wicked represent you. Yeah, I represent this district. I represent all these people who put me in office. You might say, well, I didn't put you in office. You don't represent me because I didn't vote. And the person who didn't vote is absolutely right. So when the good or the bad go down, and I may add it's mostly bad, he's innocent from the great transgression because he didn't support this evil that happens every day in our communities. And watch this in the book of Deuteronomy 16. Here Moses was told and advised to choose judges and officers in our community. Because we just can't have a community and just act a fool. We got to have laws. But what are the laws? Yahweh laws. And who's supposed to administer the laws? Our judges and officers. And where do they come from? Yahweh. And what type of people should they be? Such as fear Elohim, men of truth, hating covetousness. That's the standard. Not what you're seeing out here in America. Watch what this says in the book of Deuteronomy 16. The 18th verse. Judges and officers thou shalt make thee in all thy gates. Why? Because we just can't have just act a fool in all our communities. Which Yahweh that Elohim giveth thee throughout thy tribes. And they shall judge the people with just judgment. And watch this 19th verse. And let's see if the people that you have chosen, elected to represent you, let's see if they have this standard and meet and rise to this barometer. Let's see. Watch what it says. Thou shalt not wrest judgment. And that means to pervert judgment. Thou shalt not respect persons, neither take a gift. For a gift do blind the eyes of the wise and pervert the words of the righteous. In other words, if a gift do all this to the wise and it pervert the words of the righteous, then what do you think a gift is going to do to the wicked? This is what a gift would do to the wise. This is what a gift would do to the righteous. But to the wicked, My goodness. They will take all your gifts as they do. We're not to even give gifts. Or our judges and officers is not supposed to take gifts. And here it is. All these politicians, they all take trips. They all take money. They all do all kind of scandalous things, and you know they do it. I can see if you didn't know it, and they just tricked you and said, I didn't do this, and you had no proof. You know they do this thing, and then you still will go out and make them your representative. You still will go out and vote, even though you know beyond a shadow of a doubt, 100% these people take gifts. You know they do. They just call them campaign contributions. And they take a whole lot of campaign contributions. The very judges and officers that sit on the court who don't supposed to take gifts gave them the authority to take all these gifts and said it ain't illegal. But Yahweh said it is illegal. He didn't say it was just illegal. Yahweh said it's a sin because this is his law. Now, ask yourself, do the politicians, do the representatives that you have chosen and elected, do they do this? Do they take gifts? And if you're honest, and if you're sincere, you would say, yes, they do. Furthermore, it says, that which is altogether just shalt thou follow, that thou mayest live and inherit the land which Yah thy Elohim giveth thee. Yeah, you got to follow everything and altogether what is just. And our people, they're not following altogether what is just at all. This is not if you're voting. Voting is a clear-cut way to show, to demonstrate how wicked you are. You say, man, that's a darnest thing to say about people. Yeah, because why would somebody righteous put somebody wicked over them and they had the choice? In other words, you got the choice. You got the power to choose who will represent you. And then you will stoop down and grab hold to somebody wicked. Now, how do I know they wicked? Because they don't keep the Creator laws. They don't execute his commandments. And as a matter of fact, the very laws that they believe in is a total contradiction of Yahweh's laws. And you know they are. You know the laws of this land is a total contradiction. There is no country on this earth executing the Creator's laws. None of them. As a matter of fact, not even Yahweh's people doing the law. But at least they doing some of the laws better than everybody else. And I'm going to show you this. And our people throughout history, they knew that when they went into anybody else's land, there were certain things they knew. by fact when they walked in other people's lands. And let me show you what our people knew. For example, watch what Abraham said in the book of Genesis. I just want you to see this. In the book of Genesis, the 12th chapter. Now, mind you, right before I read that, I want you to see something else about Abraham, so you won't be judging him or perverting judgment against him. This is what Yahweh said about Abraham, and this is what Yahweh loved about Abraham. And watch what it says in the book of Genesis, the 18th chapter, 17th verse. And Yahweh said, shall I hide from Abraham that thing which I do, seeing that Abraham shall surely become a great and mighty nation, and all the nations of the earth shall be blessed in him? For I know him, that he will command his children and his household after him, which all of us should be doing, and they shall keep the way of Yahweh to do justice and judgment, that Yahweh may bring upon Abraham that which he has spoken of him. So Abraham, he commanded his household right, with justice and judgment, as all of us are supposed to be doing. And then if our children don't get it right, then we had also other officers and judges to make sure they get it right. So when we go into our enemy's land, there's certain thoughts that you automatically should have. For example, in the book of Genesis, the 12th chapter, I want you to see this. And watch what it says. In Genesis, the 12th chapter, at the 10th verse. And there was a famine in the land, and Abraham went down into Egypt to sojourn there. For the famine was grievous in the land. And it came to pass when he was come near to enter into Egypt, he hadn't got there yet, but he was about to enter into Egypt, that he said unto Sarai his wife, behold now, I know that thou art a fair woman to look upon. Therefore it shall come to pass when the Egyptians shall see thee, that they shall say, this is his wife, and they will kill me, but they will save thee alive. Say, I pray thee, thou art my sister, that it may be well with me for thy sake, and my soul shall live because of thee. Now, why? That's a darnest thing to tell your wife. But why did Abraham say such a thing? Well, let me show you why Abraham thought to say something like that, going into another man's land. If you look at the book of Genesis 22, you're going to see exactly why Abraham would say such a thing. Or Genesis 20. And watch what it says. The 9th verse, Genesis 29. Then Abimelech called Abraham and said unto him, what hast thou done unto us? And what have I offended thee, that thou hast brought on me and on my kingdom a great sin? Thou hast done deeds unto me that ought not to be done, because Abraham did the same thing here. And watch what it says. And Abimelech said unto Abraham, what sawest thou, that thou hast done this thing? And watch what Abraham say. And Abraham said, because I thought, surely The fear of Elohim is not in this place, and they will slay me for my wife's sake. And yet indeed she is my sister. She is the daughter of my father, but not the daughter of my mother. And she became my wife. And it came to pass when Elohim caused me to wander from my father's house, that I said unto her, This is the kindness which thou shalt show unto me. At every place whither we shall come, say of me, He is my brother. In other words, the thing that Abraham looked for and did not see going into these countries, he didn't see the fear of Elohim. And that's the first thing you look for in choosing and electing and setting up your judges and officers. And nobody in their right mind is looking at these men and looking at these ballots and looking at what these men believe and what come out of their mouth, talking about these people fear Elohim. I don't care if you vote for the school board. These people ain't no people that fear Elohim and have your children's best interests. You ain't learned that now? Look at our schools. You have allowed yourself to trust in man. And Yahweh said, Cursed be the man that trusts in man and make flesh his arm. And since our people have been trusting in this man, look at our children today. Look at our communities today. Look at our schools today. Look at the damage that we have done. Judges and officers. This is what we're speaking about. No longer can we allow ourselves to be tricked and bamboozled. This is totally against the laws, commandments, statutes, and judgments of the Most High. And why? Because all our officers supposed to be men that fear Elohim. You just show me one. Just give me one name. Men of truth, hating covetousness. The men that we supposed to set up, or that is set up, that represent us, they don't supposed to take no gifts. For a gift blind the eyes of the wise and pervert the words of the righteous. And that's what a gift would do to the wise and the righteous, let alone the wicked. Furthermore, just to show you how our people approach other people's lands, watch this in the book of Esther, the 3rd chapter. Just want you to see this. Because our people today are nothing like our people of old. Our people of old, there's certain things they just knew altogether. They knew that this thing here was a trick. Abraham knew before he even went into these lands, there was no fear of Elohim there. He knew that. Moses knew that you can't have no community without having officers and judges. Because then all the people would do is act a fool. But they had to have a certain spirit to judge and rule the people. Watch what it says in the book of Esther. Starting at the 6th verse. Esther, the 3rd chapter, the 6th verse. And let's see If this the type of spirit, attitude, behavior, walk that you doing, or is you doing something contrary to what our fathers did when they were in other people's lands? Watch what it says. We seen what Moses did. Abraham did. Let's see what our other people did. Book of Esther, 3rd chapter, 6th verse. And he thought scorn to lay hands on Mordecai alone, for they had showed him the people of Mordecai. Wherefore Haman sought to destroy all the Yehudanites that were throughout the whole kingdom of Ahasuerus, even the people of Mordecai. In the first month, that is, the month Nisan, in the 12th year of King Ahasuerus, they cast pur, that is the lot, before Haman from day to day, and from month to month, to the 12th month, that is the month of Adar. And Haman said unto King Ahasuerus, there is a certain people scattered abroad and dispersed among the people in all the provinces of thy kingdom. And their laws are diverse, they're different from all people. These laws ain't like nobody else's. Here it is. Everybody can go shopping on Saturdays, but not these people. Everybody can just wear what they want, but not these people. They can't wear nothing mingled. Everybody can enjoy certain foods and just eat junk and candy. Not these people. And why? Because their laws are diverse from all people. Neither keep they the king's laws. Here it is. We got people going around saying, man, we got to keep the king's law. We got to keep the laws of the land. Well, not our people. It said they didn't keep the king's law. Where it say that at? Keep the law of the land. No, it never said that. It said seek the peace of the land. But it never said keep the laws of the land, because many of the laws of the lands contradict Yahweh laws. So how are we going to keep these laws? But our people who want to do wickedly and set up representatives to represent wicked things, I guess they see otherwise. But this is a sin, a great sin. Neither keep they the king's laws. Therefore, it is not for the king's profit to suffer them, to allow them. Don't let them do this, king. Talking about they going to sit and kneel doing a flag. No, we're going to make a law against that. That's against the law now. But our people, they think they have to keep the king's laws. They think they have to be part of the king's laws. What you think our people did? Our people just trusted in Yahweh. They let Yahweh be their arm. They let Yahweh be their power. Did not the scripture say, trust in Yahweh with all thy heart, and lean not to thy own understanding? In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy paths. Be not wise in thy own eyes. Fear Yahweh and depart from evil. And politics is an evil world. Very evil world. And politics is a total contradiction of Yahweh's laws. Total contradiction. And this is not something that Yahweh will have us to participate in. Look what Yahweh would do when we in other people's lands. Watch what it says in the book of Judges, the 2nd chapter. I want you to see this also. And let's see if this is something that you believe in. Or do you believe in setting up your own? Watch what it says in the book of Judges, 2nd chapter. So what are we learning about judges and officers? Number one, the only judges and officers that we are to set up, or that are set up, are those who fear Elohim, men of truth, and hating covetousness. Number two, the judges and the officer that supposed to be represent us, they don't supposed to take gifts, because the gifts blind the eyes and pervert the words of the righteous. Do your representatives do that? And do your representatives fear Elohim, men of truth, hating covetousness? Also, are your representatives, or are you like Abraham, going to town assuming that this place fear Elohim? No, Abraham knew they didn't fear Elohim. And here it is, you must think they do, because you will have these people represent you, your interests, your moral and religious compass. I don't know what kind of wickedness you can call that, but make no mistake about it, it's straight out wickedness. Watch what it said in the book of Judges, the 2nd chapter. The 11th verse. And the children of Israel did evil in the sight of Yahweh, and served the deity. And they forsook Yahweh Elohim of their fathers, which brought them out of the land of Egypt, and followed other deities, deities of the people that were round about them, bowed themselves unto them, and provoked Yahweh to anger. And they forsook Yahweh and served the deity. And the anger of Yahweh was hot against Israel, and he delivered them into the hands of spoilers that spoiled them. And he sold them into the hands of their enemies round about, so that they could not longer stand before their enemies. Whithersoever they went out, the hand of Yahweh was against them for evil, as Yahweh had said, and as Yahweh had sworn unto them, and they were greatly distressed. Nevertheless, Yahweh raised up judges. You notice that it didn't say nevertheless. Yahweh had them vote. No, it didn't say that at all. It didn't say nothing about voting to deliver our people from anything, because voting was never used as a mechanism to deliver nothing. It's always been a trick. Nevertheless, Yahweh raised up judges, which delivered them out of the hand of those that spoiled them. And our people don't need voting. Our people need deliverance. Our people need to be saved. Our people don't need nothing that voting gonna get you, which is nothing. And yet, they will not hearken unto their judges, as they're not doing today. But they went a horn after the deities, bowed themselves unto them. They turned quickly out of the way which their fathers walked in, obeying the commandments of Yahweh, but they did not so. And when Yahweh raised them up judges, then Yahweh was with the judge, delivered them out of the hand of their enemies all the days of the judge. For it repented Yahweh because of their groanings by reason of them that oppressed them and vexed them. And our people being oppressed and vexed every day. And they think voting gonna help. And it came to pass, when the judge was dead, that they returned and corrupted themselves more than their fathers, and fallen after other deities to serve them, to bow down unto them. They cease not from their own doings, nor from their stubborn way. And this is where our people are at today. Very stubborn, doing their own doings, doing their own way, and will not cease. And then will try to inspire and motivate other people to be like them, knowing that voting has never, ever benefited our people whatsoever, because our people never needed voting. Our people need deliverance. And until we are delivered, the vexation, the trouble, the problems, the destruction will continue. And I want you to see this. Just show you how our people can get deliverance. Because this is the thing our people need. Not the ballot box. Watch what the scripture says in the book of 1 Kings or 2 Kings or 2 Chronicles. 2 Chronicles, 15th chapter. And let's see if this will support voting. And watch what it says. 2 Chronicles, the 15th chapter, the very first verse. And the spirit of Elohim came upon Azariah, the son of Oded. And he went out to meet Asa, and said unto him, Hear ye me, Asa, and all Yehuda and Benjamin. Yahweh is with you while ye be with him. And if ye seek him, he will be found of you. But if you forsake him, he will forsake you. Now for a long season, Israel have been without the true Elohim, without a teaching priest, and without the law. And watch what it says. But when they in their trouble did turn unto Yah Elohim of Israel and sought him, he was found of them. And why won't our people do this thing? Why won't they come together just to seek the Most High? And I can tell you why. Because they will have none of Yah. They don't want Yahweh. Neither do they want his laws. And that's not because that's what I say. That's what Yahweh said. And in those times there was no peace to him that went out, nor to him that came in. But great vexations were upon all the inhabitants of the countries. Now, do our people have peace after voting? No. Our people went to the polls, and guess who came out on the other end? Donald Trump. That's who came out on the other end. And I don't care if it's Donald Trump, Barack Hussein Obama. It don't matter who it is. It still did not benefit our people. You can tell me all the various laws that was changed, and our people wasn't benefited. Our sons and daughters got to see a black man in the highest position. How does that benefit my kids and me? That didn't put no food on my table, clothes on my back, just because we seen a black man walking down the halls of the White House. We got to wake up, people. We got to wake up. It's time for us to get up and come out of our sleep. It says, a nation was destroyed of nation, and city of city, for Elohim did vex them with all adversity. With all adversity. And if you want all the adversity to cease, then you must seek Yahweh. If you want all the vexation, all the trouble, to stop, you got to seek the Most High. Because our people needs deliverance. They need to be saved. And voting never saved our people. So why would you waste your time doing that? Especially after the Most High himself said, these are the type of representatives that he desires. And let me show you. Let's see if this man voted. And you'll read about him in the book of Daniel. Let's turn there. Let's see if this is how he got out of his troubles, his problems, his vexations. In the book of Daniel, the 4th chapter. And this is what it says in the 17th verse. This matter is by the decree of the watchers, and the demand by the word of the holy ones, to the intent that the living may know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men, and giveth it to whomsoever he will, and set it up over it the lowest of men. This is what Yahweh do. So all you got here in the kingdom of men is a bunch of low men. Why you think they will pass laws that they do? You didn't hear all them men up there talking about that woman that got attacked by a drunkard? But the women don't care. They gonna vote anyway. They gonna vote for a man that openly said he grabbed women private parts. They don't care. And undoubtedly our people don't care either. No different than what Bill Clinton said he did in the Oval Office. And that was fine for you. You didn't care. These men are low. They had no moral identity. Our moral identity is supposed to be the laws, commandments, statutes, and judgment. Our moral identity is supposed to be the fear of Elohim, men of truth, hating covetousness. This is supposed to be our moral identity. But Yahweh said he was going to set up the basis of men, the lowest of men. And you would ignore that and still set them up. And isn't this what the prophet Samuel said our people would do? Even after what Yahweh said, let's look at the law again. Let me show you what Yahweh said in the law in the book of Deuteronomy. Watch what Yahweh said in the law, and then after the law was rendered, I'm going to show you what the people did. And it's the same thing they doing today. Now watch the law in the book of Deuteronomy 17. This is the law. 14th verse. When thou art coming to the land which Yah thy Elohim giveth thee, and shall possess it, and shall dwell therein, and shall say, I will set a king over me, like as all the nations that are about me. In other words, you want to be like other people, and you're going to set this king up like the other nations. Watch what Yahweh says. Thou shalt in any wise set him king over thee, whom Yahweh thy Elohim shall choose, one from among thy brethren, thou shalt set king over thee. Thou mayest not set a stranger over thee, which is not thy brother. These people, our people getting, come on now. Y'all know these are not our brothers. And then maybe they black and they are your brother. Yahweh still said, don't set them over you. The only one you set over you is one that he choose, not one that you choose. Who are you? You choosing evil over good. So you think we supposed to follow your choices? Watch what it says. But he shall not multiply horses to himself, nor cause the people to return to Egypt, to the end that they should multiply horses. For as much as Yahweh has said unto you, ye shall henceforth return no more that way. Neither shall he multiply wives to himself, that his heart turn not away. Neither shall he greatly multiply himself silver and gold. And it shall be, now watch this, when he sitteth upon the throne of his kingdom, that he shall write him a copy of this law in a book out of that which is before the priests the Levites. And it shall be with him, and he shall read therein all the days of his life, that he may learn to fear Yah his Elohim, to keep all the words of this law and these statutes and do them. That his heart, now watch the 20th verse, that his heart be not lifted up above his brethren, and that he turn not aside from the commandment to the right hand or to the left, to the end that he may prolong his days in his kingdom, he and his children in the midst of Israel. This is the law. And here it is. This law is being forsaken because we will set someone over us that is not our brethren, that will govern us. We will set somebody over us that will not read the law all the days of his life. And we will set somebody over us whose heart will be lifted above his own brethren. Matter of fact, we will put over us strangers, people that is not even our brethren. That's the law. Now let me show you what our people actually did in the book of 1 Samuel. So you can see for yourself the very thing that Yahweh said don't do. This is the very thing our people are doing, will do, and have done. Watch this. In the book of 1 Samuel, the 8th chapter, the first verse. And it came to pass, when Samuel was old, that he made his sons judges over Israel. Now the name of his firstborn was Joel, the name of his second Abiah. They were judges in Beersheba, and his sons walked not in his ways. So don't think just because your daddy righteous, you're going to be righteous. Because these are Samuel's sons. They walked not in his ways, but turned aside after lucre. In other words, they turned aside after money and took bribes and perverted judgment. All the things that Yahweh said don't do, these judges did. And what do you think the judges doing today that you set up? Then all the elders of Israel gathered themselves together and came to Samuel unto Ramah, and said unto him, But behold, thou art old, and our sons walk not in our ways. Now make us a king to judge us like all the nations. But the thing displeased Samuel when they say, Give us a king to judge us. And Samuel prayed unto Yahweh. And Yahweh said unto Samuel, Hearken unto the voice of the people, in all that they say unto thee. For they have not rejected thee, but they have rejected me, that I should not reign over them. According to all the works which they have done since the day that I brought them out of Egypt, even unto this day, wherewith they have forsaken me and served other idols, so do they also unto thee. Now therefore hearken unto their voice, howbeit yet protest solemnly unto them, and show them the manner of the king that shall reign over them. So Yahweh said, look, let them have this king over them. They want it. They don't want me. They want somebody else. Fine. Let me give them somebody else. But tell them the type of king they going to have. And Samuel told all the words of Yahweh unto the people that asked of him a king. And he said, This will be the manner of the king that shall reign over you. He will take your sons and appoint them for himself, for his chariots, to be horsemen, and some shall run before his chariots. And he will appoint him captains over thousands, captains over fifties, and will set them to ear his ground, to reap his harvest, to make his instruments of war and instruments of chariots. In other words, that's exactly what the government do today. After you elect them, they hire a bunch of people and say, man, we got jobs. We got jobs. And all you doing is working for your king that put over you. And now you cutting this grass, painting his walls, picking his fruit, shining his shoes, and fighting in his armies. That's all you're doing. You're doing nothing for yourself. You're not doing anything for your own community. Everything you're doing is for your enemy, your king that you have elected. And he will take your daughters to be confessionaries and to be cooks and to be bakers. Yeah, that's exactly what our people are doing for the government. He will take your fields, your vineyards, your olive yards, even the best of them, and give them to be his servants. He will take the tenth of your seed and of your vineyards and give to his officers and to his servants, called taxes. And he will take your men servants and maid servants, your goodliest young men and your asses, and put them to his work. He will take a tenth of your sheep, ye shall be his servants, and ye shall cry out in the day because of your king which ye have chosen you, and Yahweh will not hear you in that day. Now, anybody hearing this, they will say, man, I don't want that. Kind of foolishness and madness is that? No, we good. We're good as we are, but not our people. Watch what it says in the 19th verse. Nevertheless, the people refused to obey the voice of Samuel. And they said, no, but we will have a king over us, that we also may be like all the nations, and that our king may judge us and go out before us and fight our battles. And Samuel heard all the words of the people, and he rehearsed them in the ears of Yahweh. And Yahweh said to Samuel, hearken unto their voice, make them a king. And Samuel said unto the men of Israel, go ye every man into his city. And they got a king, just like Yahweh said. And this king did exactly what Yahweh said this king would do. His name was Saul. And Saul was straight out wicked, and he did everything that Yahweh said he would do. And here our people love to have it so, because they don't want none of Yahweh. And so what our people, they going to go out and get their king. And they going to cast their votes. And they going to wear those little I voted stickers real proudly on their clothes. I voted, and walking around real good and proud. But they going to be looking ashamed. And Yahweh going to make sure he put them to shame. And he's going to remember that you didn't choose him. You didn't choose him. And he gave us choices. And let me show you the choice that Yahweh gave us. You'll read about it in the book of Deuteronomy, the 30th chapter. Let us turn there. Show you the choices that he gave us. And watch what it says. And let's see if this is the choice that you've made. Deuteronomy 30:11. For this commandment which I commanded this day, it is not hidden from thee, neither is it far off. It is not in heaven, that thou shouldest say, who shall go up before us to heaven. No, it's not there, brothers and sisters. And bring it unto us that we may hear it and do it. Neither is it beyond the sea that thou shouldest say. In other words, we got to go all the way over to Jerusalem to see the Abib just to keep the commandment of Yahweh. Yahweh said this thing ain't over the seas. Neither is it beyond the sea that thou shouldest say, who shall go over the sea for us and bring it unto us that we may hear it and do it? But the word is very nigh unto thee, in thy mouth and in thy heart, that thou mayest do it. See, I've said before thee this day, life and good, death and evil, in that I command thee this day to love Yah thy Elohim, to walk in his ways, to keep his commandments and his statutes and his judgments, that thou mayest live and multiply. And Yahweh thy Elohim shall bless thee in the land whither thou go to possess. Because we wasn't even there yet. But if thy heart turn away, so that thou will not hear, but shall be drawn away and worship other deities and serve them, I denounce unto you this day that ye shall surely perish, and that ye shall not prolong your days upon the land whether thou passes over Jordan to go to possess. I call heaven and earth to record this day against you, that I set before you life and death, blessing and cursing. Therefore choose life, that both thou and thy seed may live. We have choices, brothers and sisters. Now you can choose whomever you will. You can choose the Democrat to represent you. You can choose the Republican to represent you. You can choose the Independent to represent you. Or you can choose Yahweh. It's up to you. I choose Yahweh to represent me. In all the years I've been living, I never voted. And I was never disappointed. Because Yahweh had already said long time ago, is there any evil in a city and Yahweh had not done it? Don't you know the same one that cursed is the same one that blessed? The same one that killed is the same one that heals. And the same one that bringeth war is the same one
90 seconds
that maketh peace. So you can choose death. But let it be known, there is a choice to choose life. And Yahweh is our life.
60 seconds.
Yahweh is the length of our days. It is not evil to choose Yahweh. It is good. For Yahweh is good. For Yahweh is righteous. So you let Yahweh be magnified. Again, brothers and sisters, it's up to you. We're in the last days. Choose wisely. Choose Yahweh. And why? For Yahweh loves you.
10 seconds.
And so do I. And until tomorrow, shalom.
To you, my Yah, do I lift up my soul. And trusting you, he always kept me whole. And left my enemies deep in their holes. Let none that wait on Yahweh be ashamed. But shame on those who sin without a cause. Show me your ways, please teach me your laws. Oh Elohim of my salvation, I'm staying down and patient. As a child, all the while I'm waiting. Remember not the sins of my youth. Lead me in your truth, and he'll give your soul ease. The earth shall remain inherited by a seed. The secret of Yahweh who fears Elohim, a fool believes everything. And to every word spoken, you can't take heed unless you hear somebody curse. You know you did the same thing. That's why I'm begging Yah for mercy and His love and kindness, cause I know that I ain't worthy.
Thank you for using Blog Talk Radio.